Hello and welcome. Welcome back everyone to another beautiful episode of WooCommerce with React. Okay, in the previous video I showed you about the codes that are required for add to cart as well as view cart, and in this video we're going to go on to the checkout we're going to go on to the cart page, okay, and see what's going on there. So now we have this view cart. Okay, so let's take a look at this one, the view cart. Okay, so I think I've explained this. Now before we jump onto the view cart, I just wanted to explain to you what's going on over here in the return. So here we are checking if the add to cart is available. Then that means adding to cart should display, and then this is just handling of the external product, because the external product we don't need to show the add to cart button. We need to show the link where the user can buy it from an external website. So that's what we're handling over here. And this, in case if the item has been added to the cart and if show view cart is true, then just show this link to view cart. Okay, and then here handle add to cart button, the job of this is basically to go ahead and set any errors if they are to null. Okay, and then just call the add to cart function, and add to cart function over here, let me just show you. So this is my add to cart function. Okay, so this add to cart function will be called, and once this is called, then the mutation will occur. So add to cart query will be made, and then the items will be added to the cart, and then we refetch the products using get cart. Okay, awesome. So that's what's happening over here. Then this is the link that takes us to the view cart page. Okay, and the view cart page is actually at /cart, so I'm just going to close all of this for now, and then go to pages, and then this is the cart page. This is where we will land. So what's happening over here, we just wrap all of this inside of layout, so that the context API, React context API, the Apollo provider, the Apollo hooks provider, all of that is available over here, and to my carts item container. And then this is the component that we have created, and I'm just going to go to that. Okay, so let me show you what's happening over here. So this is cart items container. So what we're doing over here is that earlier we were handling this with our own JavaScript function, but like I explained in the previous video, the WP GraphQL WooCommerce plugin already handles that. So we are going to go ahead and comment this out, and we may want to use this for future project when we are actually creating the offline store. Okay, so for now I'm just setting the set cart function to nothing over here. At this point we just get the cart data, so whenever the user comes on this page, we want to ensure we have the latest data available. So that's why we do the get cart query. I've already explained to you how this works. Okay, the get cart query basically, and okay, and we're going to do all of this feature of adding items to the cart. So we should have the ability to modify the cart over here, but currently I have just commented all of that out. I will probably be showing that in the upcoming videos, how to edit the cart, delete the items, etc. But for now you can see that we are just fetching all of the data for the cart. Okay, so we are calling this function get formatted cart, and we're just passing the data there. Okay, so we're just making the get cart query over here, and then this data, whatever is available, we are just calling our custom function, which is going to get the cart data, what's available, into the format that we need. And once we have this cart data available right here, then we're just going to loop through it, and you can see that if the cart data is available, I'm just going to create a table. So you can see I'm creating a table, and then looping through the cart products, and just calling this function, which is cart item. Handle remove product click, this function will take care of it later. I've just commented out for now, so this will take care of how to remove the product and all that stuff. But just to show you what we are passing in the cart item component is just the ID of the product, the item itself, and the set cart function. Okay, so coming back. Okay, so this is my cart item. So what we're doing over here, because we passed item, we have the item handle, remove product, click, set cart, all of that things. What we are interested in is mainly right now is the item. Okay, and over here through, but we're just rendering the item. Okay, so you can see that you've got item.product ID, source URL, source set. So this image right here that you see, you've got item name and price. Okay, so you've got name and then you've got price as well. So this is the name, this is the price, so we're just displaying that. Okay, and then you are also displaying the product count. So this is the product count. And then you also have the total price that's being displayed right here. Okay, and then we're just exporting this cart item and just using it over here. So that's all that is happening over here. Then we go to proceed to checkout, which is the checkout page. So now let me show you what's happening here. Okay, so the link that we have takes us to the checkout page. So let me show you. So let me show you the checkout page. So inside of pages we have the checkout page. Again, we are wrapping it into layout so that the React app context, the Apollo provider, the client, and everything is available to my component. This is the heading, checkout page, right here. And then we have the checkout form component. So this is where we create a form for the checkout. Okay, so we set the initial state first, wherein we have all of the data in the format that we need for checkout. First name, last name, company address, phone number, all of that stuff. Okay, and this is just commented out code I put for you in case if you don't want to fill up the form yourself and just test it. So you have got all of the data already filled here. Okay, so you can go ahead and comment out the first section, which is this one, and just uncomment this section if you just want to do testing and all. Okay, then we are using React Context API to get the cart and the set cart from that, and then you also setting the initial state for the input. Input is basically your cart data that input is basically the form data that you see over here. We initialized it to empty for now, and then again we are setting this to order data using use state. Okay, so we are initializing the order data here. Then this will handle the request, and then this is our get cart query. So we want to ensure that when he reaches this page, he gets the fresh data from the server and nothing has changed. So that's why we are calling this query, just to ensure that we have the fresh data. So we set that here. And then we have the checkout mutation. So you can see that we use the use mutation. You go to checkout query, right here. So in the checkout query, it takes input. Input is all of the data that you see here, which is first name, last name, country, street address. Some of the input fields are mandatory, some of them aren't, so we're handling that. Okay, so then in return it gives you the client mutation ID, the order ID, refunds if any, result, and also a redirect URL so that you can redirect the user to that URL for payment. Okay, now there are several ways of handling the payment part. You can either redirect the user to your WordPress site using this redirect, which is what we're doing here, or if you're going to handle the payment yourself, for example in case of Stripe, I think WP GraphQL WooCommerce is coming up with the mutation for the Stripe payment as well, so you can handle payment on the site itself. So you can check that out. I think it's coming in the next version whenever it's released. But if you don't want to worry about the payment, just redirect him to the WordPress website, and then you just have to put some mechanism programmatically over there so that the user is again redirected back to your site after the payment has been made. Okay, awesome. So again, we go ahead and do the use mutation. Inside of use mutation, you have the checkout data available. checkout, you get the response over here, you get if it's loading or not, if you get any errors, and you just pass the order data here, the input that you've created on top. Okay, and then on completed, you have to ensure you refetch the cart value like I showed you in previous video. You have to refetch all of the cart data so you get the fresh cart data. It should not happen that once the order is processed, you still have the old cart data available. Cart should actually be clear, so you have to ensure you call the refetch function, which is basically going to make a request for this get cart query again, and on completion is going to update your local storage as well as your React context global store. Okay, awesome. In case if there's any error, then you just handle that like so. Then let me show you initially what happens. What we're also doing is that in case if the user lands on what we're also doing over here is that we're using use effect. So in case if the order data value changes, and it's going to go ahead and check if the order data is not null, then it's going to call the checkout method. Okay, so call the checkout method when the value of the order data changes or updates. Great, then we are checking if we've got the cart value. If we do, then we just show the form, and inside of this form we have different things available. I've created a billing component. So inside of billing component, this is just basically a form, and just this is all basic React. I don't really need to get into explaining of this. This is basically going to go ahead and allow us the user to enter all of the information. Is also going to handle the errors. Okay, so for handling errors, if you go to validator, I've created a validator. I've created a custom empty function as well. So it's going to check if the data is empty or not, if it's object, string, all of that stuff. You can read about it. Okay, and then we have error handling here for checkout. There are a lot of things you need to ensure. You need to do validation, sanitization, escaping, etc. because when you are sending the data with the mutation query, then you want to ensure that data is actually valid, sanitized. So you have to take care of the security. You can't really rely on the WordPress to do that, because here, remember, this is a decoupled architecture, so you're going to be sending the data, so it's your responsibility. So this whole page that I've created over here, not page, but the whole function that I've created over here is going to ensure that all you have to do is just pass the cart data, and it's going to check if the first name is empty or not, company, address, all of that is empty or not. It's going to check all of that, and then it's going to sanitize the data also for you. Okay, so you can see that the job of this is to sanitize here, right? So it's going to check if it's mobile phone or not. So you can see that's all is happening over here. There's a function sanitize data, the job of which is to sanitize. Okay. So you can read about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to check if the first name is of given length or not, last name is of given length of not or not. It's going to check if the email is valid or not. Okay, so all of that thing, like if it's a string, it has to be a string, cannot be a number. If it's a number, it has to be a number. So all of that is happening over here, so you can check this out. Okay, awesome. So that's error handling for you, and that's billing for you, so you can read through all of this data. And then this is your order cart data. So this is just going to loop through different products and the ones that you have in your cart, and it's just going to render them for you. So this section right here is your order. The next one is your payment. Okay, so all of your payment details. So let me show that to you. So these are payment modes. Again, I've broken them into small components so that they're easy for you to read, manage, etc. So again, this is going to handle all of the payment stuff. So this is just the form inputs for the payments. Okay. Then lastly, if the checkout is loading, whenever whenever the checkout query or checkout mutation is executed, checkout loading is going to be true while the request is being made, and once the request is complete, it's going to be false. So we want to show a message like it's processing order whenever that query is being executed, and if there's any error, we want to show the error that go ahead and please try again. Okay, so once this form is submitted, this handle form submit function is going to be called, and this function basically is going to first validate and sanitize checkout form. The function I just showed you which checks the validity of the data. You just have to pass the entire data to it, and it's going to do all of the validation, sanitization, escaping of unnecessary scripts in case if the user has entered. So all of that is going to be done by this one single function. Okay, if the result is valid, so it's going to throw it invalid in case if. So this value is going to be false if any of the errors are invalid. So it's going to take care of that. And if it is valid, and if it is invalid, then it's also going to throw in an error. So if you come over here, if I try to place an order, you can see that it throws error like first name is required, last name is required, company's name is not mandatory, so it's not really throwing any error for that. So all of the error handling has been done over here. Payment field is required. Okay. And if everything is okay, then it's going to call the set input function, and the job of the set input function basically is going to sorry, if the result is invalid, so you can see that if the result is invalid, it's going to go ahead and call the set input function, is going to throw in all of the errors. The result dot errors will give you all of the errors, so it's just going to ensure that it puts the errors value to that. Okay, so you're going to get errors on the front end for that. Okay, and it's going to return. If it passes this line of code, which means the result is valid, then it's going to call this function, which is going to create the checkout data for you. So this function is again my custom function. Is going to ensure that it generates a unique ID, like I explained you in a previous video, that it requires a unique client mutation ID. It will also create the billing, shipping, all of that information here. And then finally, it's going to call the set order data function, okay, which is going to put the value of the order inside of this order data. Okay, and once that is done, then in case if there's any error, it's going to handle that as well. Okay. Okay. And now you must be wondering that where on earth is the checkout mutation is being called. I mean, I've done everything, but I'm not really calling the checkout mutation. So if you remember, we have use effect, and it's watching order data. So the moment order data changes, is going to call our checkout mutation. Okay, so that's what we're doing over here. We are setting the order data, which means we are changing the value of the order data right here and putting the order data stuff inside of it. The moment this is changed, because this use effect is watching it, is going to call the checkout function. Okay, and this checkout function is going to go ahead and execute the query, which is a mutation right here, checkout query, and it's going to go ahead and do the checkout functionality. Okay, awesome. So let's try it. For now, I'm not going to go ahead. Okay, let's fill it. Oh, it's already filled in. Great. Okay, I've just filled some demi data. Let's not waste time in that. Okay, let's place order. Okay, something is missing. Let's place order. This is missing. Let's try it with cash on delivery. Okay, so remember when we place the order, the checkout mutation function will be called, checkout function will be called, which is going to do the mutation for us. Place the order. Now it's giving us a message processing order, and it's going to redirect us to the WordPress site. Why? Because I'm going ahead and redirecting once that is done. Okay, so let me show you where I'm doing that. So you can see this is the order success. We passed the response. This is the component. Inside of this, what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and checking if the response is not available, then return null. Otherwise, go ahead and set the response data, order number, and status, and also redirect the user to that URL, right? Okay, so it returns us the redirect URL in the response. So, and now if you go back and check WooCommerce orders, you can see you've got one order here, and there you go, Goldrich Hills Way and all of that stuff. Okay, so you can see that it's on currently hold. These are all the products that we had ordered. Isn't that amazing? Brilliant, good work, awesome. Let's give a round of applause for all of us. Great. So you can see that how simple, I wouldn't say okay, how simple and easy it was, right? Okay, you may be thinking, no, it's too overwhelming for me. It's completely fine. So it's actually when you start doing it step by step, then you will get the hang of it. And believe me or not, but it's going to be eventually you're going to achieve it. Okay, and when you do, you will feel really proud. Okay, awesome. So that's about it for now. So I hope you did like the video. If you did, please give a thumbs up. Please give me the thumbs up, and if you did, please give a thumbs up to the video, and do subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and do follow me on GitHub, and make sure you give the star to my repository here. Okay, so this is the repository Woo Next. All right, and do follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is CodyTech. Awesome. All of this course you will be able to see here in the WooCommerce with React course, and it'll give you all of the courses step by step. Okay, and you can go to courses section where you can find courses of different technologies. Brilliant. I'll